Well, hello. This is the Avebury area, just approaching Windmill Hill. More about the geography, the landscape, the history in a wee while. I'm out with Hedley and a couple of his sons actually as well for a day adventure in this lovely area. Never been here before, so lots to see, lots to learn and lots to explore. Didn't do a turbo pint at the beginning because we had a not an early start but quite a sharp start, but I am assured by the leader here, our leader, that there will be the opportunity for hopefully not just turbo but a nice pint
if you're good.
If I'm good. If I'm good. There we are. That's a challenge. Hi, I'm Warren Brains and welcome to another Linleys video. Windmill Hill, a large and famous Neolithic causewayed enclosure. I wish I knew what that was actually. Causeway, that's earthworks, isn't it? Yeah. On this grassy hill lies the earliest monument in the Avebury landscape. 5,500 years ago. That's an age. Lots of information there. And a picture, and that really does bring it to life actually. A picture, satellite-y kind of drone picture. Wow. So this is a burial mound, but it's round. So it's one of the round barrows.
It's either a round barrow or a saucer barrow. I don't quite know, but it's I call it.
It's got a ditch all the way around, so it might be a saucer barrow.
Could be.
Yeah. Is this then the top of Windmill Hill?
It is, yes.
There are other round barrows around. What a fine location. Absolutely impressive. 360-degree views all the way around. This is a phenomenal kind of round barrow here actually. I wouldn't say it's particularly high, but it's got a great view, and to be the personal people buried here, they must have been very, very special to have that level of kind of, you know, recognition, to have their own very special burial mound. Let's make our way over to the other smaller tumuli and explore those. You can understand why this location was, those what, 5,500 years ago, whatever, was seen to be very special.
Well, it's what's called a persistent place.
Persistent place, yeah. So you've described that.
Yeah, so you've got different layers of history. This is over 5,000 years old, and you've got 2,000 years old for the henge, and you know, and 3,000 for the hill. So there's different layers of history, and of course people who built the henge, which to us is ancient, would have seen this as an ancient settlement themselves.
For sure. Yeah. Well, right up on the top of this, there's a rock here. I'm going to stand on the rock. This isn't really a sarsen stone, is it? Oh, it might be. A little diddy one. Yeah. We can still see a complete panoramic. Talk us through.
Okay.
So we got the monument.
Out to the west you've got the Churchill monument.
Yeah.
And that's Avebury Fort, which is an old hill fort. There's also a white horse there, the Churchill white horse. And we swing around to kind of the southwest over there. You've got, on the right is Tan Hill, and then
we've been there.
We've been there.
We have,
both of our previous videos.
Yeah.
And then to the left of that, you've got Milk Hill. They're linked by Wansdyke along the top. Then to the bottom to the left of Milk Hill, you've got Silbury Hill.
Silbury.
So we'll probably see that later.
That'd be nice.
It's about 3,500 years old. Above Silbury Hill to the left, that line is the West.
So 3,500 years old. That's 2,000 years younger
than where we are here. Yes. No one knows what it was built for. Then you've got the West Kennet Longbarrow, which is about the same age as here, about 5,500. And we're going to walk across there. Then you've got the beach clumps going up the Ridgeway. The Ridgeway National Trail starts there. And then moving around there in the distance, you've got that patch of white is the Hackpen Hill White Horse.
Where am I looking? I see. Yeah.
And then beyond
Small
that,
spot.
you've got Barbury Castle, which is another Iron Age hill fort along the Ridgeway. So you've got and we've got the village of Winterbourne Monkton just down here behind the trees. Fantastic.
What a beautiful landscape. better crack on. We've got more to do. It's something like 10 miles we've got to do today, so we've got an adventure to follow. Thank you for sticking with. So that was Windmill Hill. We're heading on now to the next feature. I'm very grateful to Hedley again for being my guide today. He's done loads of videos about Hillforts and similar on not only his Hedley Thorn YouTube channel, but on the Hills and Hillforts channel as well that he leads. Links to both of those channels, of course, in the description. Take a look, subscribe, and all of that if you haven't done already. We're making our way to Avebury directly now. About a mile, I think, to go. Stop for a pint, maybe a snack or something. It is good. It's nice to be out. Nice to do a day trip again, rather than, you know, loads of gear and there's sort of almost the bother of packing another bag and getting out. I do so many of the overnight trekking trips, don't I? It's nice to get out for a day adventure. Heading back into Avebury now. There's talk of ice cream. We like ice cream. Cherry, dark cherry.
Magnum. Potentially.
Oh no, I'm not interested in potentially. I want. Now that you've said, I want. No potential about it.
Why did you say Warren again?
What's the point of potentially an ice cream? There's no benefit.
I guarantee a turbo pint.
Yeah, turbo pint. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay. I'm quite happy to settle for a turbo pint. But no, you can't sidetrack, you can't distract. You have mentioned ice cream.
I've got the car keys.
Oh yeah, that line again. I've got the car keys. He has actually, for which I'm very grateful, of course.
Yeah.
I shall temporarily desist from my bickering. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful place. What a gorgeous location. And the visitor centre is next. We can see the earthworks and some standy-uppy stones. But that's quite deep already, and you say actually it used to be deeper.
So if you imagine it more of a U shape than a V shape, it would have gone down at least a third.
A third more than that.
And the banks would have been higher, probably with like a wooden palisade fence going around.
They didn't have JCBs in those days, did they? And
no, they didn't.
Mechanical diesel diggers, no. All done by hand with little sticks and whatever. There we are, ice cream, but it's not the cherry one. Nice though. More stones to explore, rocks, stones, whatever they are, to explore later this afternoon. We're really right in the middle of the big stone ring now. Ice cream done, more exploring later, turbo pint next. Nice, the red line, all on a busy road. Hedley just said, very busy road. Hedley just said it may well be the only pub in the world that's inside a heritage site like similar to this, like with a henge or earthworks like this. Nice, yeah, cheers. And now these are the very, very impressive stones making up the Avebury circle. They're large, larger than I thought they would be. And to think these have been standing here for absolutely years, thousands of years. Oh, there were 4 circles.
Yeah, so you got, I think the way it is, you got the henge going around the outside,
all the way around the outside,
which had a stone circle.
Yeah.
These are the gateway stones,
Yeah.
I think. And then within each quarter there was a circle as well.
Wow. Okay. And of course, in the modern era,
Yeah.
the roads, although they may well have been trackways,
Most likely,
way
you
back.
would have had. I think the main entrance probably was to the east.
They are very large stones. How they were put there and moved, well, whoosh, a bit like Stonehenge, but these predate Stonehenge. And of course, massive earthwork here as well, the henge. Ah, and this is the top.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, the history books, school history, just doesn't do it. This is, well, I suppose it's prehistory. You know, is it prehistory? I don't know. 5,500 years ago, whatever it is. But people with a different culture, different language, different ways of life lived here that time back, and it is fascinating. It's hard to comprehend, it really is. Yeah, let's dive down through this little bit of woodland. Avebury is split by the modern roads, and I think probably, you know, even way back there would have been paths and trails through, so the modern roads probably were overlaid on top of the old ancient trackways. And then on to other parts of the Avebury henge. So this is the avenue.
Yeah, this is the avenue. So it's a sort of a procession of 2 lines of stones from Neolithic period, connects Avebury with the sanctuary. And there's talk by some people, and it's not really confirmed, that opposing stones represent male and female. So they're, should we say, different shapes.
Oh, okay. So back in those days, it wouldn't have been called the Avenue for sure. It would have had some local name, origin, history long gone. It's nice to know many of these stones are still here. Wow. And then somehow the avenue just seems to stop all the way from Avebury to here, up and over the kind of rise and dip, which is peculiar. I can't quite understand why they've not, you know, sculpted the land even more. They've taken the trouble to, back in those days, put the stones here to mark the sides. But I don't see why they didn't sculpture the land to really kind of, why this alignment? Why here? And why only the stones? Why not more of a ground feature as well? I don't know, lots of questions. There'll be reasons, but will we know? We won't know, will we? We don't necessarily know what was in the minds of these people back in their day. Wow. Amazing terrain. So from the end of the avenue up the edge of this farmer's field and then down, and we are looking at Silbury Hill, and we're kind of about the same height as the top of Silbury Hill, and it's the biggest, largest man-made hill. Hedley's nodding at me. In the world or whatever?
In Europe.
In Europe, okay. And it's very kind of cone-like. It's just, I've never seen it before apart from on lots of videos. and it's got a kind of an earthworky ring at the top, where that's kind of
I think that's
a
a
modern landslip
yeah.
or something.
Yeah. So it's built on top of a series of springs, and that's flooded in the winter.
I see. It's actually got water.
Yeah, underneath. And over there in the corner of the field, you've got Swallowhead Spring, which is where the River Avon bubbles up from under the ground. But it was built over a very, very long time, and it's built in stages. Nobody really knows why. There's lots of speculation. There was I think it's back in 2008, BBC did hosted by Mariana Hotter, did a tunnel into it to see what they could find, see if there's a main shaft, but that tunnel collapsed. And it's abandoned, so there is a tunnel in there, but no one knows. No one knows why it was built. There's lots of different theories, but it's definitely something to do with the water, though.
Water. Well, it's an odd location. It's not as if it's on the top of a hill or in a particularly open area. Well, I suppose this is an open area here, but the springs does seem to make sense.
But the manpower to build that,
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Avebury World Heritage Site. You're now approaching the path to West Kennet Longbarrow, one of the longest and best preserved Neolithic barrows in this landscape. 3,650 BC. So that's well over 5,500 years ago.
Yeah.
Can't even understand those numbers. No. How many generations? We talked about generations before.
It's about 170 generations, I think.
And looking at the kind of pictorial map there, it's clear that this whole landscape is rich in that same sort of heritage. Just amazing. And this is Wiltshire. Is this area unique? Well, no, it isn't, is it? All over England, Scotland, Wales, it'll be the same, maybe. This has just been more kind of found and explored, documented, maybe. Don't know. And there we are. That is the River Avon. Not much of it at this point in its journey. Bubbling up from the springs. Not much water at this time of year. And also such a fantastic view of Silbury Hill, built over hundreds of years, and the uncertainty as to why, the reason for building it. This is a very large Longbarrow. Hedley was saying, it's very impressive. I've seen Longbarrows before. Did a visit to one last year, particularly had an explore around. But this one is, 3 or 4 times the size, with an entrance and some serious rock features on the outside. Wonderful. So it faces east, as facing as in the entrance is facing east, apparently. So that's east.
That's the ridgeway.
West Kennet Longbarrow, a well-preserved Neolithic burial mound. At least 36 men, women and children were buried here 5,500 years ago. Wow. For about 50 years they placed their dead in different chambers, grouping them according to age, sex and perhaps social or family group. Let's take a view from on top, up the steps. Seems to be in sections, so there's this main entry section, and there are other portions here with sort of dips in between. Maybe the chambers have crashed and sunk. Don't know. Wow. And what a great setting. Special people to have been buried here. And the timeline of all these ancient monuments and living dwelling areas with the Henge and Silbury and the Longbarrow here. It's hard to work out the time scales and still reflect on the fact that it was eons ago. And it is open to explore. Let's take a look. Ah, there are chambers. Amazing. Wow. Amazing large pieces of rock, all perched and balanced and built to create a very special burial mound. And it's odd, I suppose, that the chambers only go a fraction of the way in. Whether, like I said, looking on top, that it's sunk and collapsed and the chambers used to go further, I don't know. But the mound, the Longbarrow, goes for like 3 or 4 lengths of the depth of the chamber. So it's hard to say. And as I roam and wander and kind of reflect back on what it must have been like in those hundreds of generations before, their way of life, their living conditions, their tools, equipment, habitat, everything, language, thought processes, way of remembering, storing and thinking about things, sharing, communicating, whatever. It's hard to even think about what it must have been like in those days. I'm sure the experts have got a good understanding. But what about them looking forward? They wouldn't have, would they? I mean, do we you know, science fiction films, we kind of we come up with ideas of what it might be like in the future. We don't know, do we? So they would have no idea what it would have been, you know, what their following generations, us, what our lives would be like if we could transport a group of them, a little mini community, into our modern world. What would they think? Lorries trucking by, fast railway lines, HS2, pylons with wires. What are wires? What do they do? Electricity. Oh my goodness. And the concept of understanding that this area is here and there's the horizon, but what's beyond the horizon, and beyond even that, we understand Europe, we understand the world, we understand some of our solar system, and even a little bit beyond. They would have had no understanding of any of that. Well, this is an old bridge, but it's not as old as the route. It used to be a ford here, and apparently this is the route of the ancient ridgeway, not the kind of modern interpretation, the official route that we kind of have on the map these days. The ancient ridgeway extended from the east coast of England all the way round to kind of the southern part. The ancient ridgeway was the full length. The modern ridgeway, I think about 80-90 miles, something like that. So this is the ancient ridgeway route, extending all the way through, and there would have been a ford here for the animals to have crossed back 5,500 years ago. You're now at the Sanctuary. I wonder what the original name was when, you know, back in those days, those thousands of years ago. What did they call this place? We call it the Sanctuary, apparently. What did they call it? What was their word for it? There are no stones left. Hedley was explaining that the stones have all gone, but they put marker kind of stones in the places where the stones were, and apparently they can detect exactly where the stones were by sort of sensing the ground shape and where holes were, etc. All bloody blinking clever. The Sanctuary lies at one end of the West Kennet Avenue. That's where we walked along. Two parallel rows of standing stones that linked Avebury Henge, where we were, 2.5 kilometres away. My goodness. So there's an outer ring and an inner ring, and there are these original spots here, which maybe they were talking about wood, so maybe the additional red points are wood. So stone positions and wood positions, whether they're all of the same age, it's hard to say. 4,500 years ago, and yes, there's the there's the avenue, part of which we walked. Yeah, busy road. Kind of somewhat spoils the peaceful focus of this ancient land. Wow, the Great Chalk Way. The Great Chalk Way is a recreation of what is thought to be England's oldest coast-to-coast route, all the way from the top of sort of Norfolk all the way down to Lyme Regis and the coast there. Amazing. And the Ridgeway is a relatively small portion in the middle. Well, hey, that's been an adventure today. Really good fun. Not one of the usual ones I do on my channel, you'll see, but great nonetheless. We've had a good day out. We've been lucky with the weather. Warm, bright, but not, not burning hot. Lots of views along the way. Starting at Avebury, figure of 8, and we're heading back to Avebury. We've left the Ridgeway and we're just taking this path on the way back. Hedley, thank you for your guided
thank you.
Assistance and route planning and everything.
That's been good. It's been a good day.
With your lads. Thank you, lads.
Yeah, and moral support from the boys.
That's good.
It's all about.
It's good.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be it then. Sign off. Wish you well. Catch you in the next one from the Avebury area. Thanks for watching and bye for now.